I cannot believe what Trump is saying. So apparently, the mothers that are getting child support cannot claim their children in income tax. The person who could claim them is the father.
Child support system in our country needs reform, and it is only day one in office. And Donald Trump has signed an executive order called the Child Support.
Welcome to The Wall. In today's video, we'll see how many women are furious about the new child support law pushed by Trump. The reason? Now fathers who pay will be able to recover part of that money through tax deductions, a measure that finally brings some relief, however small, to the burden they carry on their shoulders. All I ask is for your like. Help us reach our goal of 1,000 likes on this video. Leave your comment with your experience and wisdom. We always pin the best comment for the community. Subscribe, and let's get started.
I cannot believe what Trump is saying. So apparently, the mothers that are getting child support cannot claim their children in income tax. The person who could claim them is the father that's paying it, which is absolute BS. There is no way that I'm going to let those deadbeat dads claim any of my grandchildren. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and file my taxes as soon as I'm done with this fucking video. And I'm not letting my daughter claim her babies either. I'm claiming them. That money is coming to me. I take her EBT, I take her child support, and now I'm going to take her income tax. Because you're not going to live in my house for free. I get a lot of money back when I claim my 7 kids and my 9 grandbabies. So you best believe that no one is going to take that from me at all. Nobody. I don't care what Mr. President has to say. Like, it's honestly the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Who even thinks of doing that? It's so dumb. And I bet you all the dads out there are like, oh, yeah, we get to claim them on the income tax. And you barely do shit for your children either way. So why claim them? For what?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Personally, I believe this law is fair. 80% of those who pay child support are men. Of the remaining 20% who are women, not even 10% actually choose to pay it. And sure, the system may have its flaws. There are fathers who truly do nothing for their children. But this law aims to get fathers a bit more involved, at least enough to be able to claim tax deductions. Many will say, but the mother has full custody, she spends more, which may be true, but she already receives that money tax-free. So why shouldn't the man be able to recover at least part of what he gives? It's a way to balance, even just a little, the burden he carries. So yes, this is also about justice for the father. Let's continue.
Child support system in our country needs reform, and it is only day one in office. And Donald Trump has signed an executive order called the Child Support Reform Act, in which he is making changes at a federal level to the child support system. Is this executive order perfect? No. Does it solve everything? No. But it does more to help fathers or child support payers, which are predominantly fathers, than any other federal act has done in years. Part one is income-based adjustment, so that child support is more closely aligned with an individual income. So those individuals that are low-income payers will suffer less of the financial burden. Part two will cap arrears. So those that fall behind on child support, there'll be a cap on the amount of interest that can be applied to keep them from going into insurmountable debt. Part three is compliance incentives. So those individuals that consistently meet their child support demands, they'll be able to apply for tax relief and benefits. The 3 previous parts of the executive order benefited the child support payers, so in a lot of cases, the fathers. But the 4th and final part benefits the acceptor or the receiver of the child support, and it is streamlined in enforcement, so that it'll make it easier for those receiving child support to collect it through an automated system. In addition to this executive order, Trump is now making it so that the individual that is paying the child support is the individual that gets to claim the child on their taxes, meaning that whoever pays gets the child tax credit, which is how it should have always been. If you're paying a lot of money to the other person, why should you not reap the child tax benefits when they don't have to pay taxes on that child support? This is just a start. Because when's the last time you saw conversations happening at a federal level regarding the child support system or the child custody system? I can't remember a time it's ever happened, but this means that now there's a stage. Now there's a place that we can go and get rid of the corruption in the family court, that we can start addressing the problems within the child support system. It starts small for it to get big, and we've got a starting point now. This is a good future for a lot of dads out there, and some moms that are also assessed with paying child support.
Hear this clearly. Those who fulfill their duty will now receive benefits. And even though many women are upset, they're not seeing the full picture. This measure doesn't punish anyone. On the contrary, it gives responsible men a chance to breathe. Now they can pay with less pressure, recover some of what they give, and improve their financial situation. That doesn't just help the father. It also gives his children a better future. Plus, if the man's financial situation improves, child support payments will likely increase as well, which directly benefits the mother. Yes, I acknowledge that there are irresponsible men, but many end up that way because they fall into the bottomless pit of accumulated child support debt. That debt keeps growing to the point where the man can never get his life back, which ends up making him poorer, and his children too. In the end, that does more harm than good for the woman, because it leaves her with an absent father who doesn't pay, and who the children never see. And that helps no one.
My baby daddy quit his job as an electrician where he was making over 6 figures a year to work a minimum wage job at a fast food place just so he wouldn't have to pay me $3,000 a month in child support. Is that not ridiculous? He would rather take a massive pay cut than to give me money to pay for his kids. I'm just so pissed right now because how the fuck am I going to pay for my mortgage? How am I going to pay for my mortgage? And you can tell me to go get a job, but then who's going to watch my kids? Because putting my kids in daycare is going to cost more than my freaking house. So what am I supposed to fucking do? He's trying to act like he should only be responsible for 50% of the kids' expenses, and he doubts that they cost $6,000 a month. But I'm like, sir, I am doing 100% of the raising. I feed these kids every night.
So let me get one thing straight. Child support is not mortgage support. It's not a mortgage payment. And I don't blame him. $3,000 fucking dollars a month. $3,000 a month. That's more than your rent. That's more than a mortgage. It blows my mind. I don't blame him. This is why I try to tell you guys, pick and choose wisely. Pick who you're having kids with wisely. How many men are out here paying outrageous amounts of money because their girl cheats on them, their girl's like this? You can see she's a red flag immediately just by the way she speaks. Any woman who comes on fucking social media acting like social media is their therapist is a problem. Is a red flag. Pick and choose wisely. This is the shit you guys are going to be seeing. This is the shit you guys are going to be dealing with when you're stupid. When you're playing dumb, you're choosing the wrong girls. Jim, Ron, and God, the only 3 things we need, man. Stay cold.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
This happens every day and no one wants to admit it. Child support has become an ATM for far too many women. Men paying $2,000 a month for a kid who doesn't even consume half that, while mom buys handbags and dreams of her ex's next race so she can squeeze more out of him. The tax deduction isn't a gift, it's a lifeline. It allows the father to stay afloat, to have enough to live on, and at the same time, to continue supporting his children with dignity. If the president is leveling the playing field, then it's about time. Finally, the system stops punishing those who do their part and starts setting limits on those who take advantage.
So Trump has declared that if you are a man and you write a check for your half of keeping your children alive, providing them with food, clothing, and shelter through child support, that's what that is. Child support is just food, clothing, and shelter. And if you do that, then you get to claim your children on your tax return, even if they don't live with you. And the mother who wakes up every day and takes care of them every day and also contributes, she can't claim them on her tax return. So we're going to give tax credit for men leaving their house and not taking care of their kids full time. So this is what? Punishment for women who don't want to stay in unhappy or abusive marriages? Not really sure where they're going with this. So this will have to pass through Congress, and we'll see how many of his lackey congressmen go along with this. So this will be an opportunity when these bills come up to call your senators and congresspeople and object to treating women and children this way. So good luck with that.
Here we are again, listening to the childless feminist who yells more than she understands. Everything bothers her, not because she analyzes the law, but because she doesn't like the color of the party that proposed it. She talks about injustice and abandonment, but conveniently leaves out the fact that this reform only applies to those who fulfill their duty, fathers who pay on time and without fail. If you don't pay, you don't claim. It's that simple. But that doesn't fit her narrative, so she ignores it. And of course, when the benefit isn't just for women, then suddenly it's a problem. But when it comes to food stamps, Section 8, housing assistance, she has nothing to say. Because 95% of those benefits go to women, and there are no complaints there. So why all the outrage now that a father who actually does his part gets a tax deduction? This change excludes no one. It also applies to women who pay child support. But instead of celebrating it as something fair, they attack it like it's a threat.
Women.
Easiest double standard in child support is that men that don't pay are looking at jail time, possible unemployment, their license being taken away, tax return interception, they could be liable, there could be a lien on their assets. Meanwhile, there's little to no consequence to the women that don't pay child support. But get this, the women could also request to have her attorney's fees paid by him. So he's paying for both attorney's fees for a custody battle that he shouldn't have to fight in the first place. So the only goal of these women is to drain them dry until they are bleeding. And then when these men either get a promotion or a better paying job or have to get 3 jobs, which takes away from either their parenting time or just to maintain their own standard of living, they're going to be considered a deadbeat or they're not doing enough. And if that same man has to downsize because he can no longer even afford his own standard of living, it's considered not suitable for the children. Even though he has a place and a roof over their head, mom is going to complain that the kids don't have their own bedroom as if it has nothing to do with the amount of child support that he's paying. And the absolute best part about this is that these dads are devastated and that they will spend their entire life savings fighting a battle that they shouldn't have to fight, while mom is sitting on the internet playing victim, claiming that she's an independent, badass bitch while she's getting welfare, government assistance, living off his supplemental income by child support, getting money from her parents while maintaining a minimum wage job. So who's the real deadbeat if you're the one draining your ex-partner so dry that they can't even maintain their own standard of living for your children? And who's the real deadbeat if your only goal is to obsess about how you can take down the other parent or the father of your children or child? Okay, bye.
Absolutely. And the saddest part of all this is that many men contribute 50-50 in raising their kids because they want to be present in their lives. And still, they're required to pay child support on top of that. Where's the justice in that? To make matters worse, the amount a man can deduct is only a fraction of what he actually pays. The mother receives all the money tax-free, with no accountability, and many times she doesn't even use it for the child's real well-being. Trump is leveling the field, brothers, so that at least you can catch a break.
Person paying child support gets to claim the child on taxes. Got a lot of you guys' panties in a bunch, honey. I actually agree with that. Here's why. So I know someone who pays child support. Their court agreement is they have 50-50. Each parent is responsible for housing, clothing, feeding, activities at their house, whatever. They are to go half on extracurricular activities. They both have a say in school decisions, medical care. They both pay medical insurance through their jobs. Can you explain to me why one person would have to pay child support if everything's split down the middle? Make it make sense. If that law applies to this, then I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't know if this law will apply to absent parents, the bums who pay fucking $13.27 a month for child support, who don't do shit for their kids, who haven't seen them all fucking year long. I don't think that it'll apply to that. And if it does, then that's fucking bullshit. It would have my panties in a bunch too. But if you have 2 parents who are equally going 50-50 the whole year through, why the fuck is one person paying child support? And if that one person is paying child support, then rightfully so, they should claim their kids on the taxes. Because what the fuck? They're doing the same exact thing as the other parent. That's just how I feel. Let me hear what you guys think about that. Do you think that parents going 50-50, that one parent should pay child support? I don't.
Hey, bro.
What? Oh my God!
Women who are fair and value a man's sacrifice don't try to destroy him in court. They understand that the well-being of their children is also the well-being of the father. If the man fulfills his responsibilities, is accountable, and earns the right to a tax break, that's a long-term investment in the future of your own kids. Most men who are good fathers want the best for their children. They want to leave them a home, pay for college, and even help them out as adults with any problem. You receive the money tax-free, and still, he barely recovers a fraction. Does it really bother you that the system acknowledges that? Only a woman who holds resentment toward the father of her children could be against this. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What do you think about President Trump's new child support law? Have you ever known someone who was ruined by child support debt? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from The Wall.